Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bibian Ballers. Been a while since the last one. Unfortunately, no new mic yet, but heard from the supplier and it's finally in stock, so it's on its way. I ordered a professional mic for you guys, so hopefully the audio quality is going to get a lot better in the upcoming videos. But anyways, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the Korean national team roster selection for the March World Cup qualifiers. There's a lot to talk about, so might as well jump right into it. So yeah, guys, Korea play a home and away match against Thailand this March, and those will be for World Cup qualification into the final round of the qualification stages. Firstly, they play a home match on March 21st, and then they play away in Thailand in March 26th. And you guys may or may not already know, but Jurgen Klinsmann is out as Korea national team manager. He should never have been hired in the first place, but at the very least, we won't have to see his smile on the bench leading Korea. And in place, Hwang Sun-Hong was hired. You guys may be familiar with Hwang when he scored that amazing goal against Poland in the 2002 World Cup, or you may remember him when he managed Korea and he won military exemption for Lee Gang-in and the new generation of Korean players at the latest Asian Games. So he's quite a decorated player and manager. He has a good reputation in Korea. He's also the manager of the Olympic team, and we're going to make another video on the Olympic roster selection. It remains to be seen whether his appointment as interim manager was a smart one by the KFA because it diverts attention between the Olympic team and the national team, when perhaps Hwang Sun-Hong should be focusing 110% of his efforts into Olympic qualification. But again, that's a whole nother topic for a new video. We're going to talk about his selections for this March, and yeah, let's get right into it. So I created a spreadsheet, guys, of the his roster selections. So briefly to describe the color coding in green, is going to be players that were in Klinsmann's Korean national team and that have carried over into the current national team. In yellow are the new call-ups, and finally in red are the people who have been dropped from the Korean national team for this March. So starting with goalkeepers, no surprises really. Cho Yeon-woo and Song Bong-gun retain their place. Both excellent goalkeepers. Cho Yeon-woo obviously the more experienced, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get both games this March. Kim Sung-gyu would have been there with Cho Yeon-woo and Song Bong-gun, but unfortunately he tore his ACL at the Asian Cup, so he's facing quite a lengthy recovery time. Lee Chang-gun comes in for Kim Sung-gyu. He's an older but more experienced goalkeeper, and he's really in form in the K-League. He's had a couple of good seasons. Maybe you could have argued for a Kim Dong-jun of Jeju, who's also a similarly good goalkeeper in the K-League. But Hwang Sun-hong went with Lee Chang-gun, and as the third goalkeeper, I don't think that you can really be too for or too against this selection. In defense, Kim Min-jae, Kim Young-kwon, Kim Jin-soo, and Seo Ryung-woo retain their spots. I think that is completely reasonable. Kim Min-jae, one of the best center backs in Europe. Unfortunately, due to some unexplainable reason, Thomas Tuchel is playing Eric Dyer over Kim Min-jae at Bayern Munich. But that doesn't change the fact that he is a world-class defender. He is going to play both games against Thailand, I'm sure. Kim Young-gon returns as the steady veteran presence. I'm not sure if he's going to play both games. He's had ups and downs in the past few months, playing for Ulsan Hyundai and Korea. So it remains to be seen what Hwang So-dong does, but he absolutely deserves a selection still. Kim Jin-soo and Seo Ryung-woo are returning as the fullbacks. I would like to see Kim Jin-soo get more time, guys. I still think he's one of the best, if not the best, left back for Korea still, and it is a tragedy that he did not get many minutes in the Asian Cup when I think that was probably his last Asian Cup playing for Korea. The new members joining the team, Kim Kyung-won and Kim Moon-han, Kwon Kyung-won, you guys, and Cho Yoo-min, these three you will be familiar with because they were often selected when Paolo Bento was the manager. Kwon Kyung-won and Cho Yoo-min are center backs, and Kim Kun-hwan is a right back who currently plays in Qatar. Three excellent new additions. And Lee Myung-jae, who is a informed left back playing in the K League. I think that's a great selection. I think it sends a message, to the rest of the K League players that, if you're in form, if you're playing well, you still absolutely have a chance to get on this Korean national team. And all for it, if you look at the players who have been dropped, Lee Gi-jae did not deserve a spot at the Asian Cup, yet he still came. Kim Tae-wan, he played well at the Asian Cup. He's getting old. I think you need him for the 세대교체 or the change of generations where you're looking for a younger player. And maybe that's where Kim Won-han comes in. He's not the youngest right back, but he's definitely a lot younger than Kim Tae-wan. Chung Seung-yeon, who recently made his move to the Middle East, I was not particularly impressed with him at the Asian Cup, and he is known for making a couple of big mistakes a game. Kim Ju-sung, I thought, was the unluckiest to be dropped from this team. He's a young left-footed center back for FC Seoul, and he's widely regarded as one of our better center back prospects. I just think, with Seoul not really being informed, Kim Gi-dong just having the chance to work with his new team and incorporate guys like Jesse Lingard. I think that Hwang Sun-Hong opted to let him stay with the FC Seoul so that they could get some more work in together as a team. And Kim Ji-soo, he was selected for the Olympic team. He is currently playing for Brentford's B team. And again, along with Kim Ju-sung, he is one of our bright center back prospects. So I'm excited to see how he does with the Olympic team. Moving forward to the midfield, Son Heung-min and Lee Gang-in were both selected. There was a little bit of controversy there, speculation as to whether Lee Gang-in would be dropped. But Hwang Sun-Hong in his press conference came out and said that he spoke directly to both Son Heung-min and Lee Gang-in, and Lee Gang-in is very, very apologetic and wants to express, his remorse, and he wants to play in front of the Korean fans again. And Son Heung-min, he just wants to move on as a team. He's the team captain. He knows that everyone has the dark moments in their career, and rather than punishing a player for it or crucifying them for it, he wants to embrace them and make sure that it's a learning opportunity. So both players, were okay with Lee Gang-in coming back. And so Hwang Sun-Hong said, it's a manager's decision. I ultimately made the decision, and I thought that it would be better for us to move on together, figure things out in Korea. And if both players and the manager think that way, I personally have no problem with Lee Gang-in coming back. As for the other players who retain their positions, really no-brainers. Lee Jae-sung, Hwang In-bom, who's playing excellent in Serbia right now, Hong Young-seok, Chung Woo-young, and Park Jin-seop. Those guys are staples of our midfield, and it's no surprise that Hwang Sun-hong selected them again. I'm actually really excited for the newcomers, Baek Sung-ho, Chung Ho-yeon, and Won-sang. Baek Sung-ho, guys, I don't know if you guys have been following his career, but he recently made a move to Birmingham City in the Championship, which is the level right below the Premier League in England. He's playing really well in England right now. He's adapting well. He's getting regular minutes as a starter, and I really, admire. He could have really accepted a big money move to the Middle East or China, but no, he wanted to return to Europe. He wanted to challenge again in his career, and he's seeing the fruits of that. He's getting a call up to the Korean national team, so I'm excited for him to hopefully get some minutes against Thailand. Chung Ho-yeon, one of my favorite young midfielders. He plays for Gwangju, who is led under Lee Jong-yeon's tutelage, and they play the most attractive brand of football in the K-League that I have ever seen. And at the center of that is Chung Ho-yeon. He's the midfield engine. He's aggressive. He's great. tackling players, winning the ball, and he's also a positive, forward-thinking player. He's not afraid to beat a couple of guys in the midfield and carry the ball up himself, and his distribution is quite good as well. He's a really well-rounded midfielder, and I think he could be a pivotal piece for our midfield going forward. So I think that is an excellent selection for Hwang Sun-Hong. And also, I think you have to consider the fact that Hwang Sun-Hong managed Chung Ho-yeon at the Asian Games when they won gold. So he is very, very familiar with this game. All in all, a great selection. Sang, you guys will probably know for his speed and his finishing abilities. He's having a good start to the season at Ulsan. Perhaps there were, questions as to whether Lee Sung-woo or Song Min-gyu could have been selected over Sang. But again, it's really down to manager preference. If Hwang Sun-hong thought that was a little more in form or a little more suited to his tactics, then that's fine. I think Lee Sung-woo and Song Min-gyu will continue to get their chances with the new manager after Hwang Sun-hong. As for the midfielders who have dropped out, Hwang Hee-chan unfortunately picked up a hamstring injury while he was playing for Wolverhampton. It's going to need another 4 to 6 weeks for full recovery. Lee Sun-min, he was unlucky. I think he's in the Kim Ju-sung mold. He had a great first game after moving to Daejeon in the K-League, but in the most recent game, when he was playing for Daejeon, he was really, really off form, and I think he got hooked really early on. I'm sure he'll be back as well, but Hwang Sun-hong opted for a more in-form midfielder. And then Park Young-woo and Moon Sun-min, I'm not even going to spend time talking about those two names. They never should have been taken to Qatar for the Asian Cup in the first place, yet Park Young-woo started, and Moon Sun-min didn't see a single minute. So disappointing selections by Klinsmann, and I'm glad that we don't have to see them play for Korea anymore. And finally, in terms of our forwards, Cho Gyu-sung got the call-up. Unsurprising because, none of our forwards have been particularly playing well. Cho Gyu-sung, after returning to the Danish league, I think he did score a couple of penalty goals for his team, but he hasn't been playing exceptional. But again, due to the lack of options, he'll continue to get selected. I wonder if he's going to start against Thailand. Like, his aerial presence might help if the Thailand team are slightly smaller in build. But I don't know. I think I would maybe consider starting Son up top like he does for Tottenham. Something to consider. Chu Mingyu finally gets a call up for our K League fans. I know that they've been asking for Chu Mingyu's call up for a while now. My personal 2 cents on Chu Mingyu, I don't rate him, guys. I think he's a great poacher, a great finisher, and perhaps against Thailand, where you need a couple of goals, and Chu Mingyu has proven in the Asian setting against Asian teams. I think that's definitely worth it. But I don't rate Chu Mingyu for the same reasons that Paolo Bento didn't rate him, in that he doesn't really have a great work rate. I don't want to say work rate because it's not like he's lazy, but he doesn't like move around a lot across the field, making space for wingers or the number 10 to operate in. He's very much stuck in the box or around it, and he's a poacher. He waits for the ball, and if he gets a chance, he finishes it. But is that what we really need going forward, going to the World Cup where a lot of the teams are going to be better than us? I don't think so. I think this is a temporary selection and a deserving one because he has been one of the top strikers in the K-League. But I would like this to be a temporary selection and we don't see him going forward because he's old. Like I said, he doesn't really provide much in terms of work rate for those around him. And I don't think that, he deserves a roster spot when it's time for us to go to the World Cup in 2026. And finally, Oh Young-gyu misses out, our young striker playing for Celtic. I think this one is deserved. He's not getting many minutes at Celtic right now. But I will maintain this, guys. I think Oh Hyung-gyu is a better striker than Cho Gyu-sung all around, if you consider his total game. I think, his move to Celtic was a good one because at the time Ainge Postecoglou was the manager and Ainge really wanted Oh Hyung-gyu and he was getting regular minutes when Ainge was the manager. but Brendan Rodgers took over Celtic. It seemed that he kind of rated Oh Young-kyu, but he's fallen out of favor now. So maybe a loan move like Kwon Hyuk-kyu has is in the future for him. He's just young. He needs a lot more minutes. So we'll have to keep track of his progress. But definitely, I think it's fair for him to get dropped for these World Cup qualifiers. Anyways, guys, that's my 2 cents on the selections by Hwang Sun-Hong. In summary, I think they were very reasonable. They were actually quite objective and based on the players' form and who's hot and who's cold. And Hwang Sun-Hong said that, he took into account data analysis by the experts, and also he attended a lot of K-League games. Unlike Klinsmann, he was, for the first 2 weeks of the K-League season, he was there at a lot of games watching the players himself. So I think it was a very reasonable way to make these selections. We saw, names that we didn't like Park Young-woo and Min-jae and Lee, and we saw some intriguing names come in, like min-jae, who's in form left back for the K-League, Chung Oh-yeon, who is one of my favorite midfielders, and Ju Min-kyu, who is a starlet for the K-League fans. So I'm excited to see how these March qualifiers go. Honestly, I think we have to get a win somewhere, and I think we will. 2 wins would guarantee us a spot in the next round of qualification, which would be ideal. But a win and a tie or a win and a loss, I think it's fine. The more important thing is for Hwang Sun-Hong to just stabilize the ship with the national team and focus on Olympic qualification, because at this moment in time, that is the much, much more important issue. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to Ballers, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.